Hello everyone, and welcome to our May 24th Shōshinge service. My name is Leo Bao, and I'm a Minister's Assistant here at the Buddhist Church of San Francisco. Please join me in placing your hands together in Gassho as we listen to Shinran Shonin's words from the hymns on the Umeda Sutra. The Buddhas, countless as the sands of the Ganges, or as particles, reject the small good of the various practices, and all alike wholeheartedly encourage beings to realize Shinjin, that is the inconceivable working of the name. The Buddhas of the 10 quarters, countless as the sands of the Ganges, teach this Dharma that is most difficult to accept. For the sake of evil world of 5 defilements, they bear witness to the teaching and protect beings who take refuge in it. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. The Buddhas teach the Dharma that is most difficult to accept. This is a thought that has been running in the background of my mind ever since we went into shelter in place. Right now, there are many things that are difficult to accept. We can't spend time with loved ones in person. We can't get a haircut. Can't attend the temple with you, my Sangha family. Although our Sangha family has expanded beyond the walls of our temples, so I'm grateful for that. We can't share meals with friends at home or in restaurants. I find just wearing a mask in public sometimes is hard to accept, especially when my glasses fog up. Do I take the glasses off? Do I risk touching my face? Or do I just stumble around in the fog? Accepting what we don't like can be difficult, but it's universal. In Buddhism, suffering caused by dissatisfaction is the second mark of existence. When we find ourselves dissatisfied with life, we often look to escape that dissatisfaction, and there are any number of ways we have come up with to dull the pain of not getting our way or what we want. Some push down their feelings and emotions and do like the British saying, keep calm and carry on. Many people have lived in situations where doing so was essential to their survival, such as living through war, poverty, food insecurity, disabilities, difficult domestic situations. While fortitude and toughness can get us through these experiences, sometimes it's not enough to get us past them to a place of peace. In Jodo Shinshu, we look at life as it is and look at ourselves as we are, not as we wish things to be. This is the reason there is no petitionary prayer in our practice. The light of Dharma exposes our self-centeredness and presents us with life as it is, with all its imperfections and disappointments, but also with its beauty. Acceptance of what is, I believe, contributes to the discernible resilience I see in many a Nembutsu follower, and it's what makes their lives inspiring and encouraging. As many of you know, I get very excited when I see articles and presentations in the media that echo and support the Dharma. During this time of the pandemic, resilience has become a common theme. I recently heard an interview with Dr. Susan David, a Harvard Medical School psychologist, and she describes resilience as emotional agility. If you haven't seen her TED Talks, I highly recommend them. There's one on the topic of emotional agility, and also a TED conversation that addresses the pandemic specifically. For Dr. David, emotional agility isn't keeping a stiff upper lip and soldiering on. It's leaning into difficult emotions. She discovered this personally after the death of her father when she was a child. On the outside, she continued about her life as if nothing happened, but she ended up developing an eating disorder. She credits her turnaround to an astute teacher who recognized her suffering and passed out notebooks to the class and asked the students to write down their feelings like no one is reading. Out came her grief, loss, and sorrow on those pages, and she was able to move through her emotions. Dr. David encourages us to show up to our experiences and accept them without judgment, to meet them with compassion, curiosity, and courage. She also encourages us not to define ourselves by our emotions and not to identify with our thoughts and stories, because they are just that, thoughts and stories. This way of looking at our emotions brings a space between them and our thoughts. This is a basic practice of mindfulness. She encourages us to see our emotions as lanterns illuminating the things we hold most valuable and dear. Having identified those values, we can take actions in line with them. Acceptance is not passivity. When we miss our friends and family, we value connection, so we can take the action to reach out. When we recognize suffering in the world, it means we value social justice, and we can take steps to alleviate that suffering in whatever way we can. In trying times, we can easily be overcome by our emotions and want to get rid of or ignore them. We can also resort to spiritual bargaining and pick up spiritual practices to get rid of instead of confront difficult emotions and circumstances. We sit in mindfulness not to escape or get rid of anxiety and suffering, but to meet it. We chant to express gratitude, not to change the outcome of events. Even the founder of our school, Shinran Shonin, was not immune to these impulses. In 1921, a collection of letters written by his wife Ashini were rediscovered in the Honganji in Kyoto, Japan. In one of those letters, she recounts how Shinran became feverish with the flu and began chanting the larger Pure Land Sutra without break. She quotes him as saying, "This chanting indeed is senseless, I thought. For outside of faith, which comes with the Nembutsu, what is it that should command my attention so?" As I carefully reflected on this, I recalled the time 17 or 18 years ago when I set out to chant the 3 Pure Land Sutras faithfully 1,000 times for the benefit of all sentient beings. Just for your information, this occurred during the time of famine. He goes on to state, "Then wondering what this was for, I brought my mind to the verse, to have faith oneself and to cause others to have faith is by far the most difficult among all difficult things. To have faith oneself and to cause others to have faith is truly the way to respond to one's indebtedness to the Buddha." Here he admits that twice he did not accept life as it is, but rather than judge Shinran, I am encouraged by him. Turning inward with compassion, curiosity, and courage, he came to know the depths of his own self-power, his jiriki, abandoned it, and rested in Shinji, true and trusting, accepting the great vow of Amida Tathagata. There are times when I, like Shinran, can't deal with what is, and I tried my best to control everything around me. Sometimes I just want to wish difficult emotions, feelings, and circumstances into the cornfields. It doesn't really work. We know that what we resist persists. In these trying times, if you find yourself resisting or avoiding difficult emotions and feelings, I invite you to sit with them, as Dr. Susan David suggests, with courage, curiosity, and compassion, but without judgment. Listen to the Dharma as it continually unfolds in your life, and take refuge in the Tathagata of immeasurable life. Kimyo, Muryo, Junyorai. Please join me in Gasho. The Buddhas, countless as the sands of the Ganges, are as particles, reject the small good of the various practices, and all alike wholeheartedly encourage beings to realize Shinjin, that is the inconceivable working of the name. The Buddhas of the 10 quarters, countless as the sands of the Ganges, teach this Dharma that is difficult to accept. For the sake of the evil world of the defilements, they bear witness to the teaching and protect beings who take refuge in it. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to chant the Vandana Tisarana with you. If you have the purple service book, it is found on page 167. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the enlightened one, the exalted one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namu Kie Butsu, Namu Kie Ho, Namu Kie So. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda Butsu. I have a few announcements for this week. Our book club meets every Tuesday at 2 p.m. via Zoom. And right now we're reading Why Buddhism is True. If you're interested in attending the book club, please contact the Buddhist Church of San Francisco and they will send you the link to that Zoom meeting. Also, we have mindfulness meditation on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Also, too, if you would like to join that Zoom session, please contact the church. And also, on June 6th and 7th, there will be the Sudu for Solidarity online protest. And the information for the protest can be found at Sudu for Solidarity on their website. And this concludes today's service. I'd like to just read, before ending, an aspiration that's found in Comfortable with Uncertainty, 108 Teachings by Pema Chodron. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the root of happiness. May we be free from suffering and the root of suffering. May we not be separated from the great happiness devoid of suffering. May we dwell in the great equanimity, free from passion, aggression, and prejudice. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. To conclude today's service, we will be seeing scenes from last year's Obon and the dance Obon no Huta. Thank you, and have a great week.